Hey guys, StarCraft and Ingrid here, and today we're going to do a different kind of video. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Last time I did solo, but this one I'm going to have Ingrid here so she can ask questions or tell me what she thinks of my idea. Today, I'm going to talk a bit more about some of my own concepts. In this case, my main character of Jewel. Jewel Wakeman, or whatever last name I give her, has been one of my pride and joys. My inspiration from her was movies, animes like Ghost in the Shell, or more specifically Armitage the Third. These ideas of humans and robots are so ridiculously human that, in the case of Armitage, can actually bear children. And yes, even Jewel can do that, but she doesn't know that right away. But Jewel was my big inspiration, and I have various versions for her. You know, various takes and everything. I've had various artists do commissions for her, some of which have shown up on my Twitter feed, but not in a long time. And basically the thing about Jewel is, in one version anyway, she was created by, where there's already a group of heroes around. She was created by one of their enemies, sent to Earth. Her main program was to destroy them, but she had a cover program, a program to basically be like a mask to wear, where she will be all like, hey, I'm the best buddy, I'm from the future, I know some of you guys, I got sent back, what reason, I don't remember, and things like that. Eventually, in the end, she does go evil, but then she's able to fight off, and that false program becomes her true program. In other words, they did too good of a job. Now, there's another version where she's in another universe where her mother created her and actually gave birth to her. So she's been a good person through and through and actually can grow up and age. Both versions of Jewel can actually age, except one actually started off as a teenager, the other one gets there. And what I love best about Jewel is that a lot of her inspiration comes from my life as a teenage robot, Jenny Wakeman. Hence the last name and all that. I would change up for other things. But she's basically almost like a do-anything robot. But she's a rocker. She can give you attitude, you know, things like that. But deep down, she's a true blue hero. Except when it comes to, she can be manipulated. She cannot be hacked. In fact, she's a master hacker. No one can actually override her. And to take over her mind it's theoretically possible, but she'd be able to detect what's going on because of how her positronic brain works. But she can be manipulated. And one of the most darkest stories I ever have planned out, I don't know if I'll ever do it when I do an Indiegogo, where my big villain Visaru, who I talked about in another video, manipulates her into thinking like her friends were planning on taking their small hero team into a bigger one. He was able to convince her into thinking that, and they want to do this so they can rule things with an iron fist and all that. And he points out through things that like sees this and that, and he makes her look at it another way. And she falls for it hook, line, and sinker. Stinker, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, with Jewel though, eventually she grows up and she is so many times the heart of the team. She's the one that everyone likes. Kind of like Wonder Woman in that regard. Everyone loves her, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there are people who hate her, she can get on people's nerves, but when you meet her, you just feel so good around her. But not in a Mary Sue way, not like that, where it's like, oh, everyone loves her, because she has it. Like, no, she still has to earn it to keep it. But she has just that big heart. When she's not giving you attitude, obviously. You get what I'm saying by that, right?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
So, yeah, that is Jewel, and you've probably been seeing some of the images in between the two of us, but what do you have to ask? Like, or any of the images you want to, that seems that you want to ask me about, at least a question or whatnot. Because, like I said before, she also eventually becomes a mentor in one version for my Ninjetta character when she's an adult. And, well, look at how she is as an adult. Whew.
Certainly not bad looking. Yep.
But, yeah, is there like any question based on what I just described or whatnot? Like, you want to know weaknesses she has? Because in her case, it's any type of thing. She can still get beaten down and everything. And unlike her mother, she can't, with Jenny or whatnot, she can't reform herself. She gets blown up, she gets her head blasted off, dead. So, I mean, that one, this image here. That's a prime example of her, look at how battle weary she is.
Oh boy, that is an absolute mess. I'm guessing that
their enemy was her predecessor. Well, not predecessor, but a prototype that was built and left behind, and somehow regained, was given sentience. So, it's her equal.
Oh boy, I at least hope she knows how to do some rudimentary first aid on herself, because that could be a real problem.
She would have to heal. She can heal. She has a faster healing than most, repair sequence and all that. But again, she's still going to be bleeding oil and blood. But she's at the same time, she'll be back on her feet before you know it. But is there anything you want to ask, about either version of her?
What would you say her main power set is?
Power set? Oh, I'd put her at a, Jenny in My Life as a Teenage Woman would have the strength of 1,070 men. Whatever that means. Able to plow through, asteroids and all that. Jewel is about almost twice that. Of course, by this point in my fan fiction anyway, Jenny is 3 times that original number. But Jewel is about twice that, so 2,140 men. Again, whatever that means, that would equate to. But, basically, she can lift the boulder with ease and throw it, and all that. Now, of course, at the same time, she has to be careful watching her strength, because she can very easily punch someone's head right off. I should point out, I don't have a drawing of this one. She has a pet dog.
Aww.
Named Lucky. And we do have to be Lucky, kind of like in Dr. Dolittle. We go and give it this internal Norm Macdonald voice thoughts. Kind of like Garfield, but it's Norm Macdonald. So it'll be like, hey, and Lucky, works on both levels. Things like that. And she really takes good care of him. But the other thing is, though, she gets a bunch of boyfriends, but in my eyes, she ends up with a guy who's this quirky, believes aliens are real, which we know they are, obviously with Jewel, given how Jewel is, but he has a unique perspective on things, like thinks the world is square instead of flat. But of course he's like, oh yeah, I think it's square, here's why I think it is. But at the same time, it's not like you will believe me, he's like, whatever guys, you know what I mean?
He's just kind of endearing.
He's endearing. He's basically like, whatever floats your boat, I'm not going to convince you, you're not going to convince me otherwise. A very nice, sweet guy. But I'll also say this, her attitude, think Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
That is
her.
her.
You said that.
I bet I would so see her voice, Ashley Bell voicing Jewel. Or Barbara Dunkelman from Ruby, Yang. There's a lot of Yang in Jewel as well. There's a lot of Yang.
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, I would love for Barbara to ever voice Jewel. Just as like, oh yeah, come on, let's do this. Because she has this very gung-ho attitude. But again, she deep down has a good heart. But she might get ahead of herself.
Oh yes, I can totally understand that. It's just like, act first, think about it later.
Exactly. But at the same time, as she gets older, though, she then starts to get a bit more, sometimes the other direction, where she's like, she'll keep secrets from people and all that. You know what I mean? She'll end up becoming a bit closer to Osmond from Ruby.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean when you say that.
You're basically keeping secrets from people for their own good, but at the same time, even if that means you're going to suffer the consequences later. Not to the degree of Osmond from that show, but,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's when she gets older, though, but for her youth, but she does grow, she does learn, she does make some royally boneheaded mistakes. I mean, heck, when Visaru controlled her, in that story, she is instrumental in wiping out everyone. All the heroes. If it wasn't for the fact that her in that timeline reset everything, sacrificed herself to reset everything, but then Jewel, after Visaru returns, all the memories of that other timeline merge. So Jewel remembers everything. Even though if it wasn't her, it sticks with her. And that determines her going forward, how easily she was manipulated like that. You can imagine how much that haunts someone, knowing that in another timeline you were responsible. Your blood was on your hands to that degree.
Oh boy, oh boy.
And that you only looked out that your other self sacrificed himself for a reset, hit the reset button. And what got ready to remember those memories, because that Jewel was still alive when she made her sacrifice, until Visaru forced her out of the time stream they were in, and that killed her. So the first time Jewel sees this, she sees a corpse of herself.
That's just wild no matter what universe you happen to be in.
Yeah, but then imagine then immediately finding out what led to that. Then you're like, yeah, that is what with Jewel. Even though she could have easily said, that's not me, I'm not her. Yeah, it is you. You just didn't go through the events. In other words, if Visaru had shown up again, it would have been repeating it again. You get what I'm saying by that?
Yeah, I completely get what you're saying.
So, like I said, that's with Jewel. She's, like I said, my pride and joy. Her and my ninjatic character, I'll do another video on that in the future. But she is just pure awesome. And again, the fact that I got so many creators that you've seen through here to draw her, what does that tell you, right? It's just, a lot of people love that. Usually I would give them an option, like, here's this, here's that. They almost all pick Jewel, because they just think like she looks awesome. So maybe I'm giving that glowy eye thing you probably see in some of the images. Because, well, yeah, again, that's a reminder that she's a robot. And everyone keeps giving her that tattoo that's in this color drawing. I can't use it. That's the cluster symbol. I'd have to come up with my own. But again, when I do plan doing my Indiegogo, I want to make this clear. Both jewels are going to exist. I'm going to have a jewel that exists in the one where it's a superhero team universe, but she hasn't come down in until later. And then I'm going to have one where her own solo book where it's her alone, the lone hero. And that's what I plan on doing. But again, I have so many ideas in mind for her. I might even do something where she is an adult or where the two meet. A funny moment, I don't have the original drawing for this, but there was a bit where my friend, the co-creator, Dan Calavero, he drew, I think that's how you say his name, he drew this where you see future Jewel meeting younger Jewel. And older Jewel's like, oh my God, I look so young. And older and younger Jewel's like, oh my God, I'm old. Although, you know what I immediately think is the very next thing she would say after that drawing? And hot, incredibly hot. She would be like, for the first she'd be mortified, like, I'm old and hot. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. That's her personality. Do you think that kind of swept her up right there? Like, mortified first and then realizing, hey, quite a looker, you know.
Yeah.
Is it narcissistic to, you know? Yeah, a little. She could be a little bit. Oh, one other thing, major rock fan. In fact, the very first song she ever heard, Nirvana. You know what I mean? Or Smelled Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. First song she ever heard, and she's like, what is this wonderful sound? Of course, people then ask, like, what, they don't have rock and roll in the future? Back with her original cover story. But yeah, again, that's Jewel for you. I mean, what do you think? Be honest, would you want to read something about her?
That sounds pretty awesome. I think I would.
Cool.
I think a major depending factor would just be all of the other stuff that I want to read and look into, just how long the backlog is.
Oh, trust me. I mean, I know exactly what you mean, and trust me, I have a lot of smaller stories, big stories, all that planned out. Characters, everything, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's Jewel. We'll talk to you guys later. Who knows, maybe we'll do another one of these in the future. Yep. Okay. Catch you guys later.